The heavier the crown, the stronger the head that must carry it. My dear chosen ones, have you noticed that life seems to put an extra weight on your shoulders? That even when you do everything right, even when you follow the rules, somehow the road is harder, the storms hit stronger, and the pressure feels unrelenting. That is not your imagination. That is the price and the privilege of being chosen. You see, not everyone can walk the path you walk. Not everyone is built to endure the fire that forges diamonds. Chosen ones are tested in ways others will never understand. It is not weakness that draws these trials to you. It is strength. The enemy does not waste bullets on empty targets. The storms do not rage against those who are insignificant. If the battles feel heavier, it is because your life carries a weight, a value, a destiny that ordinary lives will never touch. But I know what you ask yourself in the quiet moments. Why me? Why do I have to fight battles no one else sees? Why do I lose people without reason? Why do I feel misunderstood, misplaced, even in rooms full of smiling faces? You wonder if you are cursed, if you are being punished, if you are somehow broken. But let me answer you straight, my chosen ones. No, you are not cursed, you are not broken, and you are certainly not weak. You are chosen, and that means you were born to carry weight that would crush others. Think of the mountain. It faces the fiercest winds, the heaviest storms, the coldest nights. Yet it remains unshaken, unmoved, unbroken. The valley does not face such trials, but neither does it touch the sky. My chosen ones, you are the mountain, and that is why the storms are drawn to you. There will be times when rejection slices into you without warning. Friends fade, family misunderstands, colleagues withdraw. You search for reasons, but the truth is this: your presence alone disturbs those who fear growth. Your light reveals shadows others would rather hide in. They leave not because you are flawed, but because you remind them of what they avoid. There will be nights when loneliness whispers so loudly that even a crowded room feels like an empty cell. You smile, you talk, you engage, yet inside you carry worlds no one else can enter. And that ache, that unbearable solitude, exists because you see what others cannot. You feel what others dismiss. You dream what others would call madness. That gap, that gulf between you and the world, is not a defect. It is the evidence that you are tuned to a higher frequency, chosen to walk a road few will ever dare. The enemy would have you believe that your pain is punishment, that the weight is unfair, that your struggles mean you are not enough. But hear me clearly. Every wound, every tear, every battle is not proof of weakness. It is proof of your power. They come because you carry potential that threatens mediocrity itself. You carry a vision that could shake generations. That is why you are attacked. My chosen ones, you must learn this truth early. Pressure is not here to break you. It is here to shape you. Diamonds do not form in comfort, they form in crushing weight. Steel is not born from softness, but from fire and hammer strikes. And you, yes, you, are being shaped into something rare, something unbreakable, something extraordinary. So the next time the storms rise, the rejections sting, the loneliness burns, remember this: the enemy only fights what it fears. And if life is hitting you harder than most, it is because you carry something greater than most. Do not despise the weight. It is the evidence of your calling. Do not curse the fire. It is the birthplace of your brilliance. My dear chosen ones, welcome to the journey. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. And together we will uncover the 7 deep pains that only those like you ever truly understand. And before we dive deeper, let me speak directly to you, my chosen ones. If you've made it this far, it's no accident. You already know in your bones that your life is different, that the struggles you face cut deeper than most. That's why this space exists, for people like you who refuse to break under the weight. So if you're ready to understand the 7 deep pains that only the chosen ones go through, stay with me until the end. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments so I know you are part of this journey. Ordinary people can't carry these truths, but you can. And now, let's step into it together, one pain at a time. Number 1. When life feels heavier than it should, when the world turns its back, it's because your light is too bright. Rejection is nothing but proof that you've outgrown the room they tried to keep you in. My dear chosen ones, let me say this plainly. Rejection is not weakness, it is a weapon. It may sting in the moment, it may leave you questioning yourself, but it is never random. If people are pulling away from you, if friends grow distant, if colleagues suddenly look at you differently, it is because your very presence unsettles the shadows they are hiding in. The enemy would love for you to believe that being pushed aside means you are not enough. But in reality, it is the clearest sign that you are carrying something powerful enough to disturb the comfort of others. You might ask yourself, why me? Why do people who once loved me suddenly act like strangers? Why do doors close when I've done nothing wrong? The answer is simpler than it feels. You haven't changed, chosen one. Your light has grown stronger, and light always irritates eyes that have become too comfortable in the dark. Think of it this way. A candle in a dim room feels comforting, warm, familiar. But when a blazing torch enters that same space, it makes everyone squint, shield their eyes, and some will even run from it. Not because the torch is wrong, but because the torch is too honest. It reveals cracks in the walls, dust in the corners, things people preferred to keep hidden. That is you. You are the torch, and your light forces choices, transform or retreat. And most people, sadly, choose retreat. My dear chosen ones, rejection is not life punishing you, it is life protecting you. Think about it. How many times have you been left behind by people you thought you couldn't live without, only to later realize their presence would have dragged you off course? What felt like betrayal was actually redirection. What felt like abandonment was actually life clearing the path for those who can truly walk with you. The enemy wants you to chase after those who left, to beg for their approval, to prove your worth where it will never be recognized. But hear me. Stop trying to reopen doors that have been firmly shut. Stop trying to force yourself back into rooms that cannot hold the weight of who you are becoming. Every no, every cold shoulder, every ghosted message is part of the filter. Today's pain is tomorrow's protection. Rejection teaches you one of the hardest but most liberating truths, that not everyone is meant to be a permanent character in your story. Some people are seasonal, temporary, placed there for a chapter, not the whole book. And while their exit may hurt, it frees you to rise without being chained to the weight of those who cannot handle your pace. You may be thinking, but why does it always happen when I'm finally getting stronger? Why do people fall away just as I'm leveling up, just as I'm building momentum? Because rejection is not random, it is strategic. It happens at thresholds, right when you're about to step into the next version of yourself. As soon as you raise your standards, as soon as you refuse to settle, the circle begins to shrink. That's not coincidence. That's the system at work. Chosen ones, you must learn this. Not everyone is meant to clap for you. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you. Some will criticize, some will doubt, some will resent. But rejection is your training ground. It strengthens you to move without applause, to act without validation, to keep going when no one else believes in you. That is the mark of true strength. So the next time someone walks out of your life without reason, do not break down. Stand taller. Whisper to yourself, my light was too much for them, and that's okay. Do not waste your energy convincing people of your worth. The ones who are meant to see it will recognize it without explanation. Rejection is not your enemy. It is your shield. It is life removing distractions, clearing the weeds, pruning branches so the tree can grow higher. And you, my chosen ones, are that tree, rooted deep, reaching upward, unshaken by who leaves. So wear your rejections like medals, because each one proves the same thing. You were never ordinary. You were always chosen. Number 2, the silent sting of being rejected. Rejection is never a reflection of your lack. It's evidence that your presence is too powerful to be ignored. My dear chosen ones, let's face it, rejection cuts deeper than almost any wound. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't bleed on the outside, but it leaves scars inside your chest that no one can see. The sting of being left out, of being uninvited, of being dismissed or overlooked is not just about what you lost. It's about the message rejection tries to trick you into believing, that you are not enough. But hear me clearly, rejection is not proof of your failure. It is confirmation of your distinction. If the door slammed shut in your face, it was never built to hold the weight of your footsteps. If people turned away from you, it was not because you lacked value, but because your value exposed what they were unwilling to face in themselves. Chosen ones, think about it. How many times have you been pushed aside right after stepping into a higher version of yourself? You leveled up, and suddenly the people you thought would celebrate with you disappeared. That timing is not coincidence. It is pattern. Rejection arrives at the exact moment when your growth begins to disturb the comfort zones of others. It hurts because you expected loyalty. It hurts because you believed your sincerity guaranteed acceptance. But let me remind you, truth does not always attract applause. Light does not always get welcomed. Sometimes your very existence is a mirror that forces people to confront their shadows. And when they are not ready to face themselves, they run, not from you, but from what you represent. Do not beg to be where you are not wanted. Do not dilute yourself just to stay included. A chosen one does not chase after closed doors. They walk boldly through the ones that swing open at the right time. Every no is a hidden protection. Every rejection is a silent redirection. Yes, it stings. Yes, it feels unfair. But remember this, rejection is also training. It teaches you how to move without approval, how to keep going when the crowd turns its back, how to remain solid even when support disappears. Ordinary people collapse without validation. Chosen ones rise regardless of who claps for them. You may be asking, but why do I have to feel this loneliness? Why does it always happen to me? Because chosen ones are not built for the ordinary stage. You are meant for arenas bigger than your current circle, and those arenas require a backbone forged in solitude and strengthened by rejection. Without rejection, you would settle where you are. With rejection, you are forced to rise. So the next time rejection whispers in your ear, don't let it break you. Let it fuel you. Wear it like armor, because only those who stand out are ever cast out. And you, my dear chosen ones, were never made to blend in. Number 3, loneliness that crowds can't cure. Being surrounded doesn't always mean being seen. My dear chosen ones, let us speak about a pain that cuts deeper than rejection and lingers longer than loss. The pain of loneliness that no crowd can cure. You know the feeling, a room full of laughter, noise and conversation, yet inside you feel like a ghost, unseen, unheard, untouched. You smile, you nod, you play the part, but your soul whispers, none of them truly understand me. This is not ordinary loneliness. This is not about simply missing someone's presence or wishing for company. This is purposeful loneliness. The kind that clings to chosen ones like a shadow. You carry dreams that others would call madness. You carry visions that would sound like fairy tales if you dared to speak them aloud. and so you remain silent. You tuck away your deepest truths, because you know the moment you reveal them, someone will laugh, someone will doubt, someone will call you too much. You ask yourself, why can't they understand? Why can't I just fit in and feel at home like everyone else seems to? But listen carefully. Chosen ones were never meant to fit into small spaces. You feel lonely not because you are lacking, but because you are ahead. You are tuned into a frequency others cannot hear, and that separation creates an invisible wall. Think of the eagle. While pigeons gather in flocks, content with crumbs on the ground, the eagle soars alone into heights no one else dares. It does not mingle in the crowd, because the crowd cannot follow where it is going. That is you. You are the eagle, and your altitude explains your solitude. The enemy will twist this loneliness, trying to convince you that you are unwanted, that you are unworthy, that no one will ever truly know you. But let me strike this lie down. Your loneliness is not proof of weakness. It is proof of depth. Shallow souls are easily satisfied by shallow connections. But you, chosen one, require more. Your spirit craves conversations that pierce the surface, bonds that go beyond small talk, connections that match your fire. And because those are rare, you often walk alone. But here's the hard truth. You must learn to endure this isolation without shrinking. Many chosen ones make the mistake of dimming their light just to feel included. They silence their voice, downsize their vision, and settle for less just to escape loneliness. But belonging at the cost of authenticity is the deepest loneliness of all. Better to walk alone in truth than be surrounded by people who only accept the mask you wear. Yes, this loneliness hurts. It feels like carrying a universe inside you with no one to share it with. But it is also training. It is shaping you to stand firm even when no one claps, to trust your path even when no one else sees it, to embrace your own company without shame. Because one day, others will come, those who speak your language, who understand your fire, who walk at your pace. But until then, your solitude is not a prison. It is a forge. So the next time you sit in a crowded room and feel that hollowness inside, remember this. Loneliness that crowds can't cure is the mark of the chosen. It means you are carrying something too rare, too heavy, too extraordinary to be understood by just anyone. Stand tall in it, my dear chosen ones, because this pain is proof. You were never made to blend in. You were made to stand out. Number 4. The battle no one else can see. The fiercest wars are not fought in fields or streets. They are fought in the silence of the mind. My dear chosen ones, let's talk about the war that nobody claps for, the one that nobody sees. You know exactly what I mean, the battle that takes place inside you every single day. To the outside world, you might look strong, composed, untouchable. But behind closed doors, when no one is watching, you wrestle with storms that would drown an ordinary soul. And this is where the enemy fights you hardest, inside your own thoughts, in the invisible arena that only you and your reflection know about. You might ask yourself, why do I feel so conflicted? Why can't I just silence these thoughts and move on like others seem to? Why does my mind never rest? The truth, chosen ones, is that you feel this because you are built differently. The intensity of your inner battle matches the magnitude of your potential. Ordinary minds don't get attacked this way because they pose no threat, but yours does. And that's why every weakness, every shadow, every doubt is tested and pushed to its limit. Think of it like this. A city under siege will always have its gates attacked. The stronger the fortress, the heavier the enemy hammers. Your mind, chosen one, is that fortress. That's why you feel the weight of contradictions, wanting to rise, yet feeling pulled down, wanting to act, yet hearing whispers of hesitation, wanting to break free, yet shackled by invisible chains of fear, doubt, and distraction. The enemy wants you to believe that this conflict makes you broken, that you're weaker than others because you struggle more. But the reality is the exact opposite. Struggle means you're still fighting. It means you haven't surrendered. And let me tell you, chosen ones never surrender easily. The very fact that you feel the weight of the war inside is proof that you are still standing on the battlefield. And yes, it hurts. The nights when sleep won't come because your thoughts scream too loud. The mornings when you wake up heavy, wondering if you'll ever find peace inside yourself. The moments when you compare yourself to others and think, why does their life seem calm while mine feels like a storm? But remember this, calm seas never made great sailors, and storms never rage where there is nothing worth shaking. Chosen ones, your inner war is not punishment, it's training. Every time you get back up after a fall, every time you choose progress over excuses, every time you silence the lie that says you're not enough, you are building unshakable resilience. You are proving that even when the battlefield is invisible, your strength is undeniable. So don't despise the conflict inside you. Learn to see it as the gym of the soul, the place where endurance, clarity, and power are built. You are being forged in silence for victories that will one day speak loudly. The enemy fears one thing most, a chosen one who has mastered their own inner world. Because once you win the battle no one else can see, there is nothing left that can stop you. Number 5. Letting go of what you thought you needed. Sometimes the heaviest chains are disguised as the things we once prayed for. My dear chosen ones, one of the deepest pains you will ever face is the pain of release. The pain of letting go of what you thought you needed to survive. At first, it feels like tearing away a part of yourself. A job you once believed was your foundation, a relationship you swore would last forever, a habit that once gave comfort, a city you thought would always be home. These aren't things that were always bad. Sometimes they were once your lifeline. But as you grow, as your path sharpens, you come to realize that what carried you before cannot carry you where you're going. And this is where the chosen ones are tested. You ask yourself, why must I let go of something that feels so safe? Why can't I hold on to it a little longer? Why does life take away the very things I once built my world around? The answer is brutal but liberating, because what once fed you now holds you back. What was once a blessing can transform into a chain. What was once a step becomes a ceiling. Think of an eagle teaching its young to fly. The nest is safe, warm, protective. But if the eaglet stays there forever, it will never learn the skies. So the mother stirs the nest, removes the comfort, forces the young one onto the edge. It feels cruel, but it is the only way the wings can be discovered. My chosen ones, that is you. The things you are forced to release are the stirred nest, the shove from safety, the edge that forces you to fly. The enemy whispers in these moments, see. You are losing everything. You are left with nothing. You are weaker now than before, but that is a lie. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate display of strength. Anyone can cling. Few can release. Anyone can stay chained to what is familiar. Only the chosen dare to walk into the unknown, stripped of comfort, yet armed with courage. And yes, the ache is real. Releasing people you love, places that hold your memories, dreams that once defined you. This pain is sharp. It cuts deeper than almost any other. But chosen ones know this. Every release is not a subtraction, it is a preparation. Life never takes without making room for greater. When one chapter closes, the story is not ending. It is simply turning a page you could never turn if your hands were still clutching the old one. So my chosen ones, stop mourning doors that have shut. Stop clutching what is crumbling. Stop weeping over the weight that was never meant to travel with you into your next season. Letting go may feel like death, but it is the birthplace of freedom. Remember this: what you lose in comfort, you gain in clarity. What you release in security, you receive in strength. And what you let go of today will one day make sense as the very thing that gave you wings. So lift your chin, chosen one. Loosen your grip. Let it fall. You are not losing. You are being prepared to soar. Number 6. Waiting while the world moves ahead. Patience is the silent weapon that breaks the enemy's will, because nothing terrifies the enemy more than a chosen one who refuses to quit, no matter how long it takes. My dear chosen ones, let's talk about one of the hardest pains you will ever face: the pain of waiting. Nothing cuts deeper than watching the world speed ahead while you feel stuck in slow motion. You see others getting the promotions, signing the deals, building the families, living the lives that seem effortless, while your dreams remain seeds buried beneath the soil. And you ask yourself, why is my breakthrough delayed? Why do I have to fight so long just to move an inch forward? Here is the truth. Chosen ones are not placed on the same timeline as everyone else. While ordinary lives are measured by speed, yours is measured by depth, and depth takes time. A skyscraper can be raised in months, but a fortress carved into stone takes years. Which one survives the storm? Which one endures through centuries? You are the fortress, my chosen ones, and fortresses are not built overnight. The enemy wants to poison your waiting season with doubt, whispering in your ear, look at them, they're ahead of you. You're falling behind, you missed your chance. But hear me, there is no such thing as falling behind when your journey is designed differently. What looks like delay is preparation. What feels like stillness is groundwork. While others are rushing to build castles in sand, you are laying foundations in rock. Yes, the silence of waiting is brutal. You pray, you plan, you work, yet nothing seems to move. The phone stays quiet, the opportunities don't come, the doors remain closed. You start questioning yourself, am I doing something wrong? Am I not good enough? But my dear chosen ones, this is not punishment, it is training. It is teaching you resilience, sharpening your vision, and building a strength inside you that cannot be stolen. Think about it. Would a diamond complain about being buried too long in the dark? Number. It simply stays under pressure until the right moment, when it emerges with brilliance the world cannot ignore. That is you. The longer the wait, the sharper the shine. And here's the paradox. While it feels like the world is moving without you, in truth, it is only revealing how different you are. Ordinary people are bound by clocks and calendars. Chosen ones are bound by timing, divine, perfect, unshakable timing. The right moment will arrive, and when it does, all the years of waiting will collapse into one unstoppable breakthrough. So instead of resenting the waiting, own it, use it. Train in silence while others perform for applause. Build in the shadows while others show off half-finished work. Prepare yourself so deeply that when the call finally comes, you are not just ready, you are unstoppable. My chosen ones, waiting while the world moves ahead is not a curse. It is your edge, because when the world burns out from rushing, you will rise with endurance. When others collapse from speed, you will stand with strength. So the next time impatience claws at you, remind yourself, I am not behind, I am becoming. And when your moment arrives, and it will, you will look back and realize every second of waiting was not wasted. It was the very thing that made you unshakable. Number 7. The hidden meaning behind the pain. The wound is the place where the light enters you. My dear chosen ones, let us talk about something most people run from: pain. To ordinary eyes, pain looks like punishment, like bad luck, like a cruel twist of fate. But for you, chosen one, pain is never random. It is a messenger. It is the forge. It is the sculptor's chisel, cutting away what you don't need to reveal what you truly are. The very thing you thought was breaking you has secretly been building you all along. I know what you're thinking, but why does it have to hurt this much? Why do I have to bleed for lessons others seem to learn so easily? Why me? Here's the answer: because only you can carry it. The chosen are not measured by comfort, but by capacity. You are asked to endure more because your life will weigh more. Every strike, every scar, every sleepless night is proof that you are not being buried. You are being planted. Think of coal in the ground. To the world, it looks like nothing special, black, dirty, ordinary. But under heat and crushing pressure, something extraordinary happens. It becomes a diamond. That diamond did not ask for the pressure. It did not choose the weight, but it was chosen to endure it. And when it emerged, it became unbreakable. My dear chosen ones, that is you. Your pain is not proof that life hates you. It is proof that you are being turned into something unshakable. The enemy wants you to misinterpret your pain, to see it as meaningless, to drown in it, to believe it proves you're weak or cursed. But the truth is sharper. Pain is the enemy's panic. If you were not dangerous, the storms would not rage against you. If you were ordinary, life would not strike you this hard. Pain is the alarm bell that your life carries power. Chosen ones, you must learn to ask a new question. Not, why is this happening to me? But, what is this teaching me? What is being built in me through this? Because every wound has a meaning, every scar carries a story, and every tear waters the soil for the future you are destined to step into. What feels like loss today is shaping resilience. What feels like betrayal today is sharpening discernment. What feels like failure today is planting wisdom. Remember this: roses grow thorns before they bloom. Butterflies are crushed inside cocoons before they fly. Gold must go through fire before it shines. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the chapter that makes the rest of the story worth telling. So, my dear chosen ones, the next time you find yourself asking, why do I hurt so much? Remember this: your pain has meaning. It is not random. It is not wasted. It is shaping you, molding you, carving you into a version of yourself that ordinary lives will never touch. The pain you carry today is the power you will wield tomorrow. And so, my dear chosen ones, we arrive at the end of this journey through the 7 deep pains. Now you understand. Your struggles are not meaningless, your scars are not wasted, and your pain is the very proof of your power. Ordinary people could never carry what you carry, but you were never made to be ordinary. You were made to be chosen. If this message hit your soul, show your strength. Hit like, subscribe, share this with another chosen one, and drop the number 77 in the comments to declare you are ready to rise.